Hey, welcome back. We have already looked at what we can do with OpenAI API. One, we have looked at the idea of playground. This follow up to that, we have looked at DALL-E 2. And the third one we are now looking at is something called Whisper. So, Whisper basically is an open source neural net. It actually helps you with speech recognition. The idea here is if you might have a song, or you might have a video, or you might have some conversation in multiple languages, you want to convert to English language, you could do that with Whisper. So let me show some possible options you could do with Whisper. One is speed talking.
This is the Micro Machine Man presenting the most.
So we looked at speed talking. There is something, it's more like some song. And the French accent.
Whisper est un système de reconnaissance automatique de la parole.
Okay. And the another one is accent.
One of the most famous landmarks on the borders. It's three hills. And the myth is that Merlin.
So for each of this context, if we look at it, we basically have the transcript to what the audio is saying. So the idea here, what we will be looking at in Python code is we are going to feed a YouTube video and we are going to trim out all the empty voices, and we are going to pick a specific part of the video and trim it, and that specific part we are going to extract the text out of it. That's basically what we'll be covering. And if you want to read more about Whisper, I'll be attaching this link. You can do the following are some stuff you could do with it. One is English transcription, any to English piece translation, non-English transcription, and no speech transcription. So this is also part of our GPT-3 series, what we are looking at. And let's look at our first instances here. So if you look at, this is a fed speech from 14th December, which happened roughly like 13 days ago. So the video starts from, if you look at this, the video actually starts from roughly about an hour till hour 16. So that's the time of the video. And after this, the first thing also you need to do is just actually go open a new notebook here. And I'll be sharing all the commands I'm executing in this video. You just need to copy paste it in your window. The first thing is you have to, like I showed you, you have to click on file, create a new notebook. And once you do this, you have to go to edit. In notebook settings, in hardware accelerator, you have to select GPU. These are the two things you need to do. And once that is done, let's actually move on to the next part. Okay, so here, the first thing we are doing is we are installing something called, so you just can't do pip install Whisper. You have to go to this GitHub URL and install. So that's basically what I've done here. Okay, after you do this, the second part what we are doing here is basically to check if our NVIDIA GPU is installed or not. So if you have GitHub Premium or if you have Collab Premium, then you can actually do this in multiple GPUs. In our case, we are just using one GPU, so it's probably working for us. And the next part we are doing here is we are installing the PyTube. Why we need PyTube? Because to convert our video into audio, that's where we are using PyTube. And once that is done, we are importing two Python libraries. So one is Whisper. From PyTube, we are importing YouTube. So these are the two things you need to do. And in Whisper, there are multiple models. So you can actually read the documentation, but base model is sufficient for what we are describing. So that's why I'm using the base model here. And after I do this, this is the YouTube URL that's here. So I've just copy pasted this YouTube URL. And after I do that, now I'm just saving that as a stream here. So some metadata that's available to us are what's the title of the video. The title of a video is FOMC press conference December 14, 2022. So if you go to YouTube, you can try it with any other video. Your title should match the one here. And after this is done, if you want the view count, you can actually see this. It has roughly been viewed 165k times, and YouTube roughly shows that data. And after this, here we are just seeing what all streams are available to us. And as you can see, there are multiple streams that are available, but we only want audio. So to the similar one, I'm just filtering the audio and stripping off all the videos, and I'm just saving the audio here. And here, I'm just saving this file as MP4. Okay. And after this, why am I doing this? So these are the timelines I want my audio for. So I don't want the audio for the entire Fed meeting. So that's why I'm using it to filter audio with the start time as 3580 seconds and the end time as 4560 seconds. And rest of the audio is being chopped and the file is being saved in fedtrim.mpeg4. That's what my code is doing here. And it is asking because since I already run it in the past, it's asking do I want to redo it again? That's why I clicked yes. Yeah, this should take some minutes basically to run. And if you actually don't do this part, open a new notebook, and in the notebook settings, if you don't set GPU, this code will fail. So that's the part you really have to do it. That's why I'm showing it multiple times again. So if you run this code without this settings, most of these functions will fail. Because since we are using GPU to compute our model, without which it won't work. And let me run this one. And after this, we need the output text. So here we can actually see what he talked about. So I won't be playing that video for the copyright issue, but I will be attaching the original video for you to play it between hour 1 and hour 116. So basically you can play it between 60 minutes and 75th minute. That's basically the text we'll be getting here. Yeah, it's gonna take some time because it's like a lengthy video. It's doing some filtering, so it's gonna take some time to execute. In the meantime, let's actually see the models that are available in Whisper. So basically you have tiny model, base model, small model, medium model, and large model. And the parameter size is this. And if you want English only model, you can use it. But if you basically want something like a French video or anything, then it's better to use multilingual. If it is non-English video, then you have to use large. You can't use any of this, or you could also use it. It should work. So that's basically what we are looking at. And yeah. And there is also the large V2 version in December, which was recently released. You can use it, but the idea is roughly the same for both of them. So it looks like our video got processed here. It took some time to compute. And now let me run this one here. So you're going to see the time being printed at where it started. And in the output, it's going to transcribe this, and it's just going to show what's the time it's going to take to run this model here. That's all it is. So we are not doing anything apart from that. And in my previous instance, I think the total time it took was roughly about 1 hour. It roughly took about 2 minutes. And let's see how much this would take. I'm not really sure because this is the first time I'm running this. So it's hard to estimate based on the data. It totally depends on how long it takes to run. So I don't have much info on how long it might take to run. So let's actually see, let's actually wait for some time. So similarly, you can look up this table. I will be attaching this. So here you will get some info here. If you want some examples, that's here. If you also want more code to Whisper, you can access it here. So there are multiple use cases of Whisper, what all you could do, and you can try it out with multiple other stuff. So I have just done it with one language. If you, I know that there's Urdu, there is Spanish, there's Ukrainian, there's Vietnamese, there is Italian, there is French, there is Japanese, Portuguese, Turkish, Malay, and Croatian, Tamil, Nepali, Armenian, Belarusian, Marathi, Icelandic, Kannada. So you can basically try it out on any language and actually see. And if you also just want to do it in command line, you can also actually try it out in command line and see if it would work for you. And this is basically what we are doing. So we actually took a base model. We passed we converted our video to MP4, and that MP4 is what we are transcribing, and in the end we are printing the text. So that's all I'm doing here with Whisper, and let's see how long it would take. So this is run. So here if I run this, now I should get the text back. Okay, it's a typo here. I'll fix it and rerun this. Cool. So this was what they being discussed, and if you play this video between this time, you should see this text, and hope this helped you. And I'll be back with more applications on Whisper in the follow-up video. Keep learning. Thank you for joining.